Okay, welcome to the One Cup Podcast. Today I'm here with Matthew Mendoza, also known as Barber Doza on social platforms. He is the co-founder of the Hairskin Club in California that he runs with his wife. He is a software enterprise sales manager for a company in the barber industry. He is a barber, educator, consultant, writer, podcaster, husband, and father, all the good things. And he shares my passion for the barber industry. Matt Mendoza, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Vince. Honored to be here, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, excited to have you. Yeah, bro. So I want to get into your story a little bit because I've been following you for a while, but I want to talk about you just went to this Statement Grooming Goods Cultivating Culture event this past weekend, and I wanted to talk about it. What was the energy like at the Statement event, and what stood out to you immediately when you got there?
Yeah, I think the energy is definitely feels different. The statement events that I've been to. So I started first event I went to with them was last summer. It was the World of Statement, and it's hosted at Statement headquarters, which
Mhm,
is Statement is owned by a big brand that's called Hankel,
mhm,
and it was down in Culver City. But so the first event I went with them was last summer, and then I went again, most recently. And one of the first things me walking in was just I started seeing a bunch of familiar faces of people that were there last summer. And I think there was a similar feeling like we all felt something special was happening and we all wanted to come back. But I think that the energy is almost starting to feel like there's community.
mhm.
And what events typically do is like you know, they're attracting a certain type of individual. And I think what Statement's doing is they're gathering like-minded individuals um, that like really identify, I think, with the brand. And yeah, when you have a lot of like-minded individuals who are thinking creatively or wanting to push the culture forward, you just have like it creates just a really energizing atmosphere. Um, I've heard it said that like when you're around successful people or you're around other like-minded people, like it just energizes you. And so I definitely think, leaving that space, a lot of people are feeling inspired, I'd say, or feeling energized. Um, and like those types of spaces, when you have it, they can be special because they serve as like a catalyst for creativity, or for people to then go back to their cities and maybe take something that they experienced there and want to experience it again, but bring it back to their local community. Um, and man, it was great.
Yeah.
Honored to be there. Love being there. If they do another one, or when they do another one, should I say, like always try to see if I can make it out because it's definitely something special.
Yeah, I saw that you said they're looking into other cities to host something similar. And I've been talking to Mock Living,
Yeah,
Jovan.
Jovan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been talking to him, and I'm like, dude, like, we need more education in Florida. Like, what's up? What do I got to do?
Yeah, Javan's great, man. I love Javan. He's yeah, I feel like just industry veteran and leader, and he was, one of the main coordinators for Cultivating Culture LA, him and Renji. And they yeah, they're planning on doing more. So I think I want to say it was Chicago, Atlanta, so that would be closest to you. I don't think
Yeah,
they're necessarily planning Florida yet, but yeah, no, they're definitely wanting to expand it so that it's more accessible, I think, for people around the country.
yeah. And I saw you actually had a segment where you spoke for a little bit. What was that about?
Yeah, man, yeah, I was super honored. Like they had invited me to have a session. It was like so one thing that's cool about these two events, so like after lunch, which one is cool that they actually feed you, which is
Mhm.
rare. So bring
Mhm.
catered lunch and get a chance to break bread and meet people, sit at a table, which those organic conversations are always impactful. But yeah, afterwards they split you up into groups. It was like four groups of 25, I think, and then you go
Mhm.
through this rotation. So there's like Brittany led a session, and Drizzy led a session, and Renji led a session, and then you had this like PR agency. They led a session,
Mhm.
and then I had my session, and so you just go through this rotation basically.
Yeah.
walking through Hankel's HQ, which I think Julius calls it like the Willy Wonka, uh, Willy Wonka factory for barbers, because just walk in,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, this place is amazing. But yeah, I led a session, but it was like a big theme of the day was just like finding your authentic voice. Vinny did a really great job kind of setting the tone for that.
Mm.
Because obviously when we look around in social media or see a lot of creators and barber influencers or whatnot, there's a lot of voices out there, some louder than others. And it's important as we think about pushing the culture forward to create space for everyone to share their unique perspective. I think it's important for culture to progress. We have to hear from everybody.
Yeah.
Um, and it's important to make space for maybe the voices that aren't as loud.
Hmm.
But it's important for us to like to reflect on what exactly is our perspective or our take. So a lot of times at these types of events, like there's a lot of people that are talking from the stage, and you're almost being talked at.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to create space where everyone in my group, they split up into groups of three, and then I almost kind of simulated what we're doing right now, where I had someone that was asking questions, someone was answering questions, and then someone was filming, and everyone would have a chance to play every single part. Um, and I had created like a list of questions and kind of walked them through my process when I,
Hmm.
create like an interview,
Hmm.
uh, basically whether I'm preparing for a column to write or whether I'm preparing to do my own podcast. I wanted them to the questions are intentionally designed to uh, give them an opportunity to share what their perspective is. Like one of the questions was just like, as you look around the industry, like what do you think our industry needs more of?
Yeah.
Um, and so it's just right giving them space to tell us what they think, um,
Yeah.
and what do they see. And so yeah, that was a big part of it for me, and it was kind of in partnership with like Barber Evo was kind of the backdrop of how it was presented, um, with me being a columnist for them. But it was cool. I was really trying to do something a little different. I haven't, of all the events that I've been to, I've never been split up into a group of three to like
Yeah.
process what we've been learning,
Yeah.
or even meet people. Like I've been in massive education spaces, at your CTs and your LVs or your premieres, all of those. Like I've been in those sessions and I'm like, man, it'd be great if you just took a second and just had us turn to our neighbors to say hello.
Yeah.
Like, and say, hey, what's been your highlight of the day? Or there's a lot of lessons. Like, what's the big one that stands out to you? Or, when you go home and someone asks you, how was it? What are you going to say?
Hmm.
Like, you go back to your shop, like, what's the big takeaway? Um, we don't stop to, process some of those things. Um, and I have a background in events and like conferences and retreats from like my nonprofit
Hmm.
kind of era of my life. And so I've always like wanted to facilitate those small group discussion spaces. And so, yeah, it was a 20-minute session. I probably talked for 7 or 8 minutes on the front end just to kind of lead in, set context and share a little bit of my story.
Yeah.
But then the remaining time it was for them. I was like, all right, y'all, split up, meet your people, go through the interview, talk. Um, so it's cool because
Yeah.
at the end I had to like stop them and like grab them and bring them all together because they would have kept going. So,
Yeah.
anyways, that was a little bit of my pop.
No, that's cool. So, you got to speak to everyone as well. They all
I,
stopped through.
yeah, so I mean, everyone, yeah. So in the beginning, I shared yeah, when they walked in, it was like I did an intro and shared a
Oh,
little bit
okay.
more of my story, and then split them up into their section or their little groups. But yeah, everyone came through my session, so I did get a chance to talk to everyone just in
Yeah.
those small groups. But yeah, it was interesting because I was packed. I'm like I scratched the surface of the things that I wanted to talk about, in
Right.
8 minutes.
Yeah. No, that's dope. What was the part of the event that you enjoyed the most?
Honestly, like I do enjoy it's the organic conversations that just take place. Like it's the
Yeah.
um because I am there to meet people and to um like, hey, what's your story? Where are you from? You know, is this your first event? Why'd you come?
Hmm.
Um, and so I mean, whether it's even yeah, it's just some of the organic moments and like sitting, you know, the meals, sitting down at lunch. Like I always have memorable like conversations over dinner or lunch. Like those are big ones. Definitely standing in line when we're waiting to get hibachi, you know, in the courtyard. Um, so I mean, those are like those moments where you keep your head on the swivel. And it's just like, who's right next to me right now? I want to make
Right.
the most of it, introduce myself. I think those are important. I mean, content wise, um, I did really like, I really liked Vinny. Vinny had a lot of great just perspectives of, again, encouraging us to find your authentic voice.
Yeah.
Um, and one actually, I did also like how Reggie did his. He almost like shared his barber story. I've never seen
Hmm.
that where he had like slides and was just pictures of him like cutting when he was young and like all the way through his career, and kind of that story arc. I really liked how he done that, and because I almost wish we did more of that because
Mm.
every, no matter quote unquote how big you are, like we barber stores are always super humbling, you
Yeah.
know, because at the end of the day, like we serve people.
Yeah.
And so, and nobody's above service. And
Mm.
I think, you know, whatever barber you're talking to, I do, at least the ones that I appreciate the most, there's a humility there because we understand, like, we serve people. And so when
Yeah.
you hear the origin stories of someone in the service industry, I just think I always appreciate that. So,
Hmm.
anyway.
Yeah, bro. Man, I was looking at that event as soon as they dropped it, and I was like, I was about to pull the trigger, but I was like,
Sure.
man, it's not the time. I'm gonna wait for hopefully a closer one.
All good. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the demographic of the room like with the experiences? Were they like newer barbers? Was it people that were in the game for a long time?
It's a good question. I think at the beginning they actually asked everyone like raise your hand if like you're a student, and
Mm-hmm.
there were students that were there.
Mm-hmm.
So students, you have people who had just been licensed. I think someone raised their hand and they're like, I've been licensed for like 3 months or something.
Yeah.
But then you have I think they asked raise your hand how many years. I think there were very few hands that were raised when they asked for 20 years, but there were
Right.
some.
Yeah.
Um, so I'd probably say majority you're in that like 5 to 10 years, but
Yeah.
probably significant even probably 1 to 5 and then 5 to 10, like
Mm-hmm.
that range, I'd say. It definitely represents like probably a lot of millennials and
Yeah.
then Gen Z. I think what the next generation is Gen Alpha, I think it is. But I mean, there's a 21-year-old barber that I met,
Mm.
Kevin from Seattle, who's doing some amazing things up there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, he's 21. And so it's cool to see. I actually do, there's a generational like handoff, I think, even taking place where you're 21, 22, 23 year olds, like they're a different breed, man, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's awesome seeing these younger barbers really coming up, and I know sometimes they get some hate, but like they have like all the resources and information and education, so like they accelerate and they thrive pretty quickly.
Yeah,
So I'm excited for them.
definitely. Yeah, no, there's so much, there's information is so accessible,
Right.
with AI or um, probably the big one. Like you really don't have an excuse of saying I don't have the information. It's almost
Hmm.
we have too much access to too much information to where we
Yeah.
need to filter it down and make sure that uh, we're picking up the best or most quality. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, to have access to all of that is it's a completely different era, than
Yeah.
the time when I started, learning how to cut hair. It's
Yeah.
way different.
Hmm. And was it mostly like speaking and like interactive small groups? Was there any hands-on type of education?
So there was, yeah. So Brittany and Drizzy, they did a class where so basically the origin, the way the day was, you got there, Vinny had like a session that was not necessarily like a hands-on demo, but he had a section, and then after that, uh, Brittany and Drizzy like they had a pretty long like hands-on demo. or they're even demoing and talking through the new statement products like their shave gel and their aftershave lotion. But yeah,
Yeah.
there was a section there. And then during the open rotation, Drizzy did more hands-on, like beard work, I believe. Um, so yeah, there was definitely that portion for sure. We actually could watch people cutting.
Yeah.
Um, that was cool. It's good
Yeah,
balance.
I saw last year they had like a giant, like
So
everyone had their own
yeah,
mannequin.
so that did not happen at this one. So
Right.
like attendees this time, we didn't bring our tools. We weren't cutting ourselves. But yeah, last year at World Statement on that Friday, yeah, everyone there was, gosh,
Looked like chaos.
75 mannequins,
Right.
80 mannequins in there. It was
Right.
crazy. It was hot too. I remember because the blow dryers were all going.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. I loved it. The energy was awesome. But yeah, we did that. That wasn't included this time.
Yeah. Um, man, that's dope, man. I gotta go to the next one. No more excuses. Um, so for a barber that's never been to an event like the statement event, why is it important? And, why should someone invest their time and money to be at an event like that?
I think so. Yeah, whether it's like an event like a statement, I think
Mm,
what it's just more of not your um, it's just your smaller it's your smaller setting. So like your
yeah.
100-ish people or less. Um, I think what's important in that is like you actually just get like even you look at the agenda of what the day is going to look like. Yeah, I just think it's important to be in smaller settings because it's easier to
Hmm.
have those organic moments or even their conversation is just easier to flow. I just think sometimes that the way that expos are currently formatted,
Yeah.
um, how do I say, it really puts the ball, how do I word this? Like the big educations, like you're sitting in a big crowd and just the way that it's facilitated is not necessarily fostering like community, even in the
Mm,
way that it's set up. Like you're sitting in rows of
mm,
chairs staring at a stage. They're
yeah.
not like turned to face each other or anything like that.
Right.
Or even like it's a platform. Someone's up on a platform,
Yeah.
you know, with a microphone. Um, and in smaller groups, whether it's like a look and learn that might take place like in a shop, like those are just you can talk to them. There's
Right.
only a few people maybe around, and it's just easier to ask questions. You don't feel as intimidated by like the big lights and just the big room.
Yeah.
And so I think smaller rooms can just why they're important is that I just think it allows us to feel a little bit more you feel a little bit more comfortable. It's even a more familiar maybe environment, easier to talk to people, ask questions, and even like see if you're there for the hands-on, you can actually be like right there
Yeah.
and ask the questions, etc. Um, so yeah, and I do think they're how do I say? I just think they're attracting a certain type of barber as well. So it's like
Mm,
they filter out even like only certain barbers are going to show up there,
right.
and it like weeds out or not, I don't want to say weeds out, but it more gravitates just a certain mind.
Yeah.
And it's good to meet those barbers. It's inspiring to meet those types of barbers who are thinking that way. And
Yeah.
so I think yeah, it's an investment. And it also makes you I was talking about this with some of the attendees, you know, it makes us not feel alone.
Right.
Like whether you're, sometimes cutting in a shop environment and maybe you feel like you see things differently than the rest of the shop. And maybe
Hmm.
sometimes the shop even makes fun of you for some of the things that you're
Yeah.
trying to do or what you're interested in, or mocking your investment in
Mm,
wanting to go to events to meet people. And you could feel a little embarrassed or,
hmm.
by your vision. Um, and that might make you want to shrink.
Right.
But when you step into those spaces and you realize you're not alone, you're not the only one, it's like, oh, cool. Like other
Yeah.
people are thinking this way too. I
Yeah.
think that can, right? That again, that energizes you, gives you the, you know, gives you what you need to maybe go back to an environment that can feel stale sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, so no, I think that's important. I mean, finding a rhythm for it. I always try to find at least I commit to just like one big one a year.
Right.
I'm like, I want to do at least one. I don't want to necessarily go to the same ones. If I could kind of switch it up and be in different rooms is
Yeah.
important. Um, and I feel like just almost find it, start low and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna set a goal and like do one a year. And if
Yeah.
I had to pick one, which one would it be? Stay local, watch your budget, don't break the bank if it doesn't make sense for you.
Right.
Um, yeah, I think just committing even to your growth, if you're like, well, I want to be growing, what will that look like? I think going to these types of events can be evidence of that for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Do you find yourself more drawn to these smaller, more intimate events now after you've been to all the different kinds?
I do, yeah. I think and I'll say that I don't want to I don't want to sound like I'm knocking the like really big events because I also there's a specific place for that too.
For
I
sure.
think you
Yeah.
have to just move really strategically.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be honest, like I've made majority of my networking and connections have come from like large expos,
Yeah.
especially getting a chance to like meet certain brands or start certain relationships. Like
Hmm.
you have to move pretty, you just have to move intentionally in those spaces. But I have been drawn to the smaller ones, like I just think they're refreshing. They feel different. They uh yeah, like it's just a completely different vibe.
Right.
Like it feels more communal
Yeah.
than conference.
Hmm.
And I've said this before, but I think at the heart of the barbershop is community,
Yeah.
right? And I think barbers we actually know how to do community well.
Hmm.
Um, and when we're at our best. And I just think those smaller spaces allow for that, facilitate that a little bit
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
It's like taking something that's there and like doing a different spin on it. So
Yeah.
instead of like making it a competition,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Like it's a look and learn where people are still cutting. It's just we're not competing. It's like
Yeah.
we're collaborating, right?
Yes. Yes.
And there's those little tweaks that I think those look and learn type events are they're onto something there. And I think in the attendance of people going to it
Hmm.
and more of them happening, um, they're way more scalable as well. Than
Mm.
like scaling expos is it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But if you already have like your shop, it's like your rent's already paid for, you already got all the chairs,
Hmm.
stations are all there. It's a
Hmm.
good environment. Depending on how big your space is, it's like you could just more easily do something in your home turf. Like it's like this is the space I work in. So um yeah, no, I think I just think that they're even more scalable and I think it'll maybe a little bit less intimidating to
Mm.
coordinate. Um and that maybe is even why like people are doing them more. But
Right.
I think they're great.
Yeah. Are you going to any big events this year? Or have you gone to anyone already?
Yeah, I went to the big one I went to this year was Premier
Yeah.
Anaheim. Um, I went with my wife this year. That was a big goal actually for us. It's been a goal because she's a licensed esthetician, and we wanted to go to a show that had both like hair and skin.
Hmm.
So there was, classes that she was attending, and then there were classes that I was attending. So we went to that one. That was in February.
Yeah.
Um, so that was the big one I wanted to go to. And then yeah, obviously the statement event was not necessarily on my radar, but then I was like, all right, so I had that one, which I was
Yeah.
obviously grateful for. They're gonna have more, so we'll see what the rest of the year looks like. But in terms of big events, like I got Premiere was the big one that I wanted to check off this year with because I'd never been to a premiere before.
Oh no, that was your first premiere?
Yeah, it's my first premiere.
Okay. How hectic was it?
yeah, it was a typical, like a similar, how do I say, energy, but what was different was it's for barbers and cosmetologists and estheticians,
Mm-hmm.
so that made it super unique.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's all like energy's highs at the Anaheim Convention Center, right across from Disneyland,
Yeah.
and
It's a huge venue.
yeah, yeah, big venue,
Yeah.
almost like yeah, it was a couple like there was like the main expo floor with grouped all around, and then the barbering section was not massive though, so
Right.
you could walk through that pretty quickly. And then there's like the second level, all the education. I almost feel like there was like too much
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I almost felt bad because some of the rooms that I went to, it was like, man, this educator's teaching like three people.
Right.
I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And there's a huge stage, but like a different. I mean, I wasn't where the big stage was the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
but since you have so many offerings going on, like you can't have every class full. And
Right.
so it's like I feel like they're trying to do a lot, almost trying to do
Mm,
too much.
yeah.
Um, where from like me teaching as like an educator, like if I was educating, but I'm like competing with all these other classes, and I'm prepared and have all this information that I want to share, but then there's just not a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Um, It's tough, man. There were classes I wasn't able to go to even because the way that it was structured, it was like, well, this class
Same
is at the
time.
same time as this class, and they're not teaching
Mm-hmm.
it again. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm. I hate that.
again, I come from events and conferences, and I'm like, normally you would have like a rotation where it's like you have the opportunity to not miss them, right? And
Yes.
that's what Statement even did, where it's like you're in groups, there's four sessions, and you get a chance to go to all of them,
Yeah, I
right?
love that.
Um, versus like here are 50 options and you're only going to be able to pick a few of them, so pick wisely. I'm like, well, damn, like can't be two places at one time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to how the Anaheim premiere is because I usually go to the Orlando one and it's exactly what you're describing. It's the energy's high, but it's also a bit overwhelming because you don't know which part of the event you should be at.
It's
Um
and yeah, man, and that's what sucks, man, because it's like this is where my critique now comes in,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Like
Let's get
my
into it.
voice of right where yeah, it's tough. Like when I'm like I want to experience everything, right?
Yes.
For me, so when you go to these show, it's experience overload where it's like, well, I want to go walk the floor and meet certain people or stop by certain brands. But then
Yeah.
you're doing that, and then you get caught up, and you stop, and you talk to somebody, or you're like, oh
Hmm.
shoot, I was at this booth longer than I thought it was going to be, or I was in this conversation longer than I thought it was. Like, oh damn, look at the time. Oh my God, I
Hmm.
haven't eaten. Like,
Hmm.
shoot, I should probably eat. Oh, but this next class is happening right now. Let me race up, make sure I can get there.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Great class. Now where do I go after this? Oh, what's over here? Like you
It's a lot.
just you're you have to come in with like you have to create your own itinerary,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
you
But
do.
then be nimble with like, okay, but then this opportunity happens, so I want to go there. So it just feels part of it again, I'm not to keep coming back to the statement event, but they take out the decision fatigue,
Yes.
right? Where it's just this is the day.
Yes.
You're gonna go here, you're gonna go here. We're gonna split you up into groups. You're gonna go do this. You're gonna eat, so you don't have to think about that. We're bringing the food in.
Yeah.
It's inside the budget of the ticket,
Yes.
and so yeah, I've always just felt whenever I've left like some of those big events, and even I'll say even at the statement event though too, there was an open session where it's kind of like choose your own adventure. They had a lot of
Mm,
things going on, and
mm,
I ended up having a great conversation with someone, and so I didn't get a chance to actually see a couple things.
yeah.
Um, so I even felt that where I'm like, oh, I didn't fully experience, but I traded it off for something else, which I was grateful for.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's people can feel overwhelmed,
Hmm.
and I mean, I don't look at the retention number. Like I'm not on these expo teams to see attendance,
Yeah.
but um, or I mean, let alone get like a survey after attending the event. Like I'll say this,
Hmm.
Premier sent a survey, and I started the survey afterwards, and it would have taken me like 30 minutes to fill out the survey.
I was
You know,
long.
where I'm like, I'd like to give you feedback, but like this thing is long, you
Yeah.
know. Um, where most shows I've even gone to, I don't really get a survey even afterwards. Like, tell us about what your experience was, or
Mm,
um, out of the educators, what was rank them, on a scale
yeah.
of 1 to 5, or out of
Ooh.
them, what was your favorite? Or, open text, like, okay, it was a 5. Why was it a 5? What did you like? Hey, is there anything that we could do better?
Yeah.
Like, give us a critique, like, give us some feedback. That don't exist in our industry, right? Which is weird. Like, I've been to expos at other industries, like, they are
Yeah.
asking for feedback all the time, wanting to get
Right.
better. Um, and yeah, I think that's where I don't know. There's a lot for us to go, a lot for us to tweak. That feels like table stakes for other industries
Hmm.
when it comes to events
Yeah.
and event management.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's what's hard. Where I'm like, maybe all of us feel this way. Like you might have been feel of like, hey, I'll go like, I'd love to give some feedback here. I felt a little overwhelmed. Can I like tell you,
Who do I talk to?
who can I talk to? Yeah, who's the manager here? Um, but we don't really have space for that. But then I think what's tough is then how these expos could get stale is they're like,
Mm,
why aren't people coming back?
mm,
Like it's like, shoot, I don't know. Why don't you ask them?
right.
Like, make space for them to tell you.
Right.
Um, and probably send that survey within a week,
Yeah.
after, so it's fresh in your mind
Yeah.
because how they might be feeling exiting. You know, some people may have loved it, right?
Yeah.
But let's be honest, there are people out there who maybe didn't,
Yeah.
or they're neutral.
Hmm.
Um, so it's important to make sure we give them opportunity, right, for their voice to be heard, for us to tell them what they think, for things to get better.
Yeah.
Uh, so,
No. Yeah, that's good. I've already been getting texts about the Orlando premiere, and I keep checking like the education, just like seeing who's going to speak.
hmm,
Um, because I don't know, a lot of the time after you've gone to these events, it's kind of the same people. So it's like maybe you have a favorite educator, or maybe you're looking to see someone new. And I already saw that Giancarlo Alter Tech, he's going to be at
yeah,
Orlando, so I'm hoping to go, see him teach, and I
or
want to see the new
yeah,
Panasonic trimmer.
yeah,
Have you
it's
had a chance
great.
to try those yet?
So they launched at Premiere Anaheim. They had
Yeah,
a really, really dope activation. So yeah, I got a chance to see them, and their booth, like they show up well. Like
yeah, I saw
um,
that.
they're being owned by Panasonic. They got some nice, they got great, but a lot of budget, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
But yeah, the way they showed up was really cool. But yeah, they did a huge launch. Um, yeah, no, I to that end, then yeah, it's like again, it's just like what's the purpose of going, or when you go, how do you want to spend your time? And
right.
so when you have someone like that, then it's like, okay, cool, they're there. I got to make sure that I stop off there.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, they were there. They launched their trimmer, and but yeah, did a ton of education. And he was there. He actually had like he was selling Ultra Tech. He had a few of his items. I think the pants and the tee he had there in stock. We got a chance to connect with him and like learn a little bit more about his story, which was cool. Um,
yeah,
yeah, no, they had great education too. Panasonic showed up really
mm,
well. So
yeah, yeah, man. I'm excited to to check those out and hopefully have a conversation with him this year.
yeah,
What do you call it? Yeah, bro. What's it like running a beauty business with your wife, man?
it's great, man. I love it. I mean,
It's the best.
yeah, it's funny where people are like, "Oh, you work with your wife." Like they're almost saying it of like, "How do you guys do that?" Or like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome." Like it's like, well, which tone are you saying it? But no, it's great. I love it. Yeah, I mean, we uh are trying to create something different
Hmm.
with Hair Skin Club, and um yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool for us to, we have 2 kids, and our friends have been saying like, "This is your third baby." or like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
There's always something for us to be talking about, but no, it's been great. And she's great, man, what she does too, just from a esthetician, like of the services that she provides and
Hmm.
like the results that her clients get.
Hmm.
Um, it's awesome to, have more of a front row seat to
Yeah.
her world. Because before it's like she would go do her thing at the studio and like I was, doing my thing. So it felt separate to that end. So it's kind of like, oh, I wonder what she's like, when she's
Yeah.
interacting with her clients or what that behind the scenes look like. And now, I'm there to witness it and I can meet her clients who, you know, it's fun when I meet them, they're like, oh, it's nice to finally meet you. I've heard about you for so long.
Right.
Um, So it's cool. Yeah, I love it. It's been great. It's evolving. Um, there'll be a ton of milestones with it, but it's been great.
Yeah. No, that's cool. What do you call it? Yeah, I'm just really curious because my wife, she's also in beauty industry. She does nails.
Mm.
So, people always make that suggestion, oh, you guys should have a thing together. And I'm like, even if we looked into that, I don't even know what that would look like. Like, for example, like you guys, like, does she have like her own room, her
Yeah,
own space, or is it just wide open? You know?
yeah. So we lucked out in the space. So it was a salon before we took over, and
Mm,
it's about like 800 square feet, I think. Not a huge place. So when you
yeah.
walk in, it's the main room, and then immediately to the right when you walk, there's the treatment room, which before they
Mm,
had it as an office. But so we converted it and renovated it into her treatment room. So that's like closed
nice.
door. So it's like she's got her treatment room there. And then we
Nice.
have the main floor. And then you actually keep walking back, and there's a back room, which is
Mm,
where the office is. And then that goes out to like this patio. So there's really three rooms
yeah.
in the space that was already done.
Nice.
And I think that's part of it is like, how does when you walk in, what's the flow of the experience? And so for us, we needed a treatment room for her, closed door,
Yeah.
um, and then I need my space. So again, it depends on the services that you're trying to provide. But
Sure.
like we'd even thought, like in the back room for us, we could put like we could have someone doing nails back there. We
Right.
honestly could.
Right.
Um, or it's just, but then it's what is the client experience, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because we wouldn't it's important for there to be a closed room for her to be able to provide the services at the level that she wants. She needs that space.
Yeah.
And then it works out because it's like, well, she could be in there closed door and I'm in my room and there's some separation, or like you're not listening to each other's conversations or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that works. So it just depends on like really putting the client's experience forward. And when
Yeah.
you bring people in who are actually getting services, you're like, how does this feel? Like, are there too many people here? Is it too loud? Like the blow
Right.
dryer's going, that's too loud for this. Like,
Mm,
how is this how will this be for the client?
mm,
Not so much. And there's also, how does it work for us?
yeah.
Like, as a provider, because you want to be in the right headspace so you can provide the best service.
Yep.
So that's where it's like thinking about how all those parts will work together, um, and then making sure you're choosing the right location or setup, or then you have to design it to make it work in the way you want to.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we're finding the hybrid model for us is working. But part of it is because the space, I think, is like it's set up really well for us to be able to do it.
Yeah. Is it do you guys plan on maybe bringing more people in or what's your plan for
Yeah.
that?
So we brought on another esthetician. So
Nice.
now they kind of share the rooms. Like my wife has the room, or Ashley has the room. So they
O-
go
Okay.
like she's there 3 days a week, and then she gets the other days. And then I
Cool.
have two stations. So yeah, vision eventually will be to bring on another barber or hair or cosmetologist.
Yeah.
Um, haven't decided quite that yet, but
Sure.
that will definitely be a goal probably the next 6 months is like bringing on somebody else.
Yeah. Do you envision bringing in someone that's like fairly new or someone that's established?
That's the debate, man. That's the debate.
Right.
Um, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know. Go back and forth. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, there's benefits to having someone established from a clientele standpoint,
Hmm.
but also I think, what's trending right now is there are like hungry young
Yeah.
barbers that are maybe fresh out of school, but they are very moldable and want to learn. And
Hmm.
you know, I've seen a lot of things in this industry, and would love to, mentor and share. And
Yeah.
so call it what it is. Like, if I'm bringing in someone who's more seasoned
Hmm.
and has other clientele, I say, like, it's a different dynamic. Like, me and this person probably wouldn't have that type of a relationship
Right.
unless we're like very aligned on our vision.
Right.
Um, versus if someone maybe has seen some of the things that I do, and they might be like, man, I would really love to learn from this person.
Yeah.
Um, then that would almost feel more like apprenticement situation where I
Hmm.
could really influence how they're not just building behind the chair, but beyond it.
Yeah.
Say, I don't have a good answer, man. Both on the table, so I got to figure out in the next 6 months.
Yeah. No, that's dope. I'm definitely getting to that point where I feel like I need to figure out what the next step would be for me. I'm in a double suite right now, so it's me and my buddy, and I'm just starting to take on what feels like too much work. So I don't know if obviously it'd be nice to raise my prices. That's the plan, but at some point it gets like, all right, I feel like I should find someone to start pouring into and
Yeah,
eventually start feeding my clients to.
yeah.
So I don't know. I got to figure that out.
A lot of people, and the thing, a lot of people have kind of worked into that model too. I think there's a lot of examples that are out there of things
Yeah.
of people doing that.
Yeah.
Um, like Cray Gerarda, he's in LA.
Mm,
He owns Create.
mm.
He's someone that I've been connected to for several years now, and been cool to watch his journey from single, like, basically one chair suite, and he's you know expanded that out to two locations, and
What's his
really
name now?
great barbers that are. His name's Cray.
Cray?
Yeah, Cray, Cray. I actually just saw Cray, so hey, shout out to Cray
Oh,
if you're listening to this. Um,
creative. Okay.
yeah, yeah, he's the one that's just coming to mind. But
Yeah.
what was a quote that he always says is like, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, like, go together, or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
Yeah.
And even when you think about legacy, it's like building something that's going to last, like having a team and empowering others. You know,
Yeah.
there's something beautiful about that. There's
Yeah.
also something significant there from a business standpoint too, of
Hmm.
making sure that the business isn't dependent on you,
Yeah.
um, but you can empower and delegate to others.
Yeah.
So you're even prepared for different seasons of life. Like,
Hmm.
I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a father first. Before I'm a barber. So it's like certain priorities that are there that I gotta make sure um, I got everything in place for me to be where I need to be. I can't necessarily. I'm not in a season where I could be, if I want to, grinding and being in the shop for 10 hours a day every single day, or my
Yeah.
books can't be available like that.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, it's just thinking about the progression of different as seasons change, as you mature. Like, yeah, what does it look like to expand or bring in, grow the team? Um,
Yeah.
it's obviously a big milestone.
Yeah. That's why I love watching, like the guys from 12 Pel or Paradox, and they had that massive event that we were talking a little bit
Yeah,
about GG.
yeah,
Um,
man.
did, did you hear anything about the event?
Yeah, I did. So the one of the, maybe you call him the founder, CEO, the Carho, he works with 12 Bell.
Okay.
Uh, he was at the he was at Cultivating Culture, and I got a
Mm,
chance to spend a lot of time with him.
nice.
Uh, the Yeah, which, eh, man, yeah. Every time I get together with Carho, like the conversations that we have, I'm like, man, I feel like we're on we're in a different level right now of just really challenging each other, sharing perspective of like what do you see, what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, he pulled the curtain back more of what GG is and what they're trying to shape, and
Mm.
it's with Paradox 12 Hell and Prax, and yeah, man, they're cooking up something very cool. I don't want to speak on their behalf,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
because I know they're there's a lot there that I'll let
Yeah.
them speak to, but yeah, man, it's they're definitely they're onto something for sure. And I
Yeah.
mean, when you bring together those powerhouses too, like,
Hmm.
talking each of them individually in their own right are doing, you know, just amazing things, pushing the culture forward. And so when you bring those like forces together, it's yeah, man, it's pretty cool. So cross
Yeah.
my fingers, I might be able to sneak my way into a GG at some point. But
I'm saying, dude,
yeah,
I hope they open it up to more people next time.
I know, and I think a
It
lot of
look
people are feeling that way. Me and you, me, included.
I
It's
think
like,
that's the
oh,
point, right? I think that's the point. They want it to feel
maybe,
more exclusive.
maybe like, oh, curiosity. What is this? What y'all doing back there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to I want to try to reach out to one of those guys and have a conversation with them, man. It's really cool to see what 12 Pel's done,
Yeah,
because like they've grown their brand to where like, I got people here in Florida, and I'm sure you know people that are just like, hey, like I want a haircut like this, and they're over here talking to you about 12 Pel.
yeah.
That's like pretty
So
amazing.
yeah, it's cool, man. They've so right, their audience, they've grown a portion, a majority of their audience is like client facing
Yeah.
actually. So it's
Mm.
consumer. It's not professional, right?
Mm.
They do have the professional audience, but their audience is more of the consumer.
Yes.
Whereas there's a lot of barbers out there that are educators, like their audiences they're trying to create for barbers, right?
Yes.
And so you don't have the way that they've done that, gone about their content is really unique. So you have 12 Pel who kind of dominates the consumer side of things, and that's why we see
Mm.
them, hey, starting up a tier chair, and I was like, okay, we had that client that shows that transformation video, of hey, can you do something like this?
Yeah.
And it's not just 12 Pel, like there's a lot of barbers, a lot of the transformation type videos that are out there.
Yeah.
Um, which there's certain formatting of how they go about that, whether that who that comes from or where that stemmed from is up for debate.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have the consumer side that they've dominated, but then your paradox that is they're probably more. I mean, they're a school, right? They're an academy,
Yes.
so
Yes.
their lane is a lot more. I'd say, but it's not just for barbers. Like they're more of like a brand for the culture as a whole. I mean,
Yeah.
they got merch line and fashion and um yeah, no, we can't. I'm originally from the Bay Area, and so I can't. I feel like the Bay hasn't got enough. The Bay needs to get more just kudos for like what they
Yeah.
do for the culture. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Paradox is one that's there, but there are many others that I think like Jules even like Julius comes from the Bay.
Yeah.
And like there's like the Bay Area. Is it called like the? It's like the So I think it was called like the Bay Area Barber. It's like Brotherhood, or I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
I think I've heard of
Um,
that before. Yeah.
but there's really influential, um, at least when you look at the landscape of barbering. I think the Bay, just in terms of the culture, influencing the culture, is massive. Probably bigger than we think.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, yeah, 12 Pel, like what they've built is really cool. Like to see what's possible from a consumer side, dominating on the consumer side of men's grooming and not
Yeah.
just focusing on barbers, right?
Yeah.
It's fun. Like I'll have just friends that send me transformation videos of like I think it's Cam the barber, I think, from out in
Mm.
like Hawaii, like his
Yes.
transformation videos. Like I get friends send those to me all the time.
Yes.
People just like doom scrolling some of that content, you
Yeah.
know? And so it's way more consumer facing, which is right. That even shows there's different lanes. Like when you're
Mm.
thinking about being an educator or content creator, it's like who is your audience, right? Who are you creating for?
Mm.
Um, and that influences then, what should you create? What should your content be? So begin with the end in mind and like work backwards.
Yes.
Um, anyways, it's its own tangent, but
No, no, that's really good, bro. Yeah, I want to get into that a little bit. Yeah, what's the difference between, you're talking about consumer-based content versus one that's maybe more towards education and to the barber and the professional?
yeah. So like let's take like hairstyling for example,
Hmm.
would be if we are or yeah, we talk hairstyling or even just like figuring out the right haircut for somebody.
Yeah.
You could do that from a is it me talking to a client? Actually, let me take a step back. I have a perspective that every barber is an educator,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
In the sense of you educate your client.
That's right.
You are the educator to your client.
Hmm.
So when they're sitting in your chair and they're asking, what do what should I get today? Or what do you think?
Yeah.
Hey, this is what I got. Well, what do you think I should get?
Yeah.
Or there's opportunities for us to teach them. And the language that we use to teach someone without a barber technical knowledge,
Hmm.
right, is going to be different. We have to like dumb it down a bit,
Yes.
right? And now, when we talk about like shapes of okay how oh there's three different shapes right out here all the time. Oh, there's square, triangle, and circle, like the way that you could cut, right? Different angles.
Yeah.
So oh, what shape am I trying to create? If you said that to a client, I don't that they don't necessarily it's not easy to understand that,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like you're gonna use different language.
Hmm.
So when I had a client sit in my chair and they're like, it's super heavy right here, like it's just so heavy.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'm interpreting like, all right, so really heavy here. What I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna cut it in a way so that it's not as heavy,
Right.
right? And you're gonna feel that. Like, all right,
Yeah.
am I gonna say like I'm gonna cut a round layer right there. Or like
Yeah.
I'm gonna do vertical sectioning when I cut that for you.
Yeah. They're
Like
not gonna understand that.
do they care? Like,
No.
no, not necessarily. So now the way I might speak about that would be I need to like if I'm writing content for that, it'd almost be, hey, client, if you're feeling like it's really heavy right here,
Hmm.
and that's what you're describing it as.
Yeah.
Um, then hey, this would be a haircut that you should ask for. Or like
Yeah.
talk to your barber about like, hey, in this area, I feel like can we introduce some type of layering
Hmm.
here? Because that's essentially what more of what you need.
Hmm.
Because it just feels so heavy. And so I think there's a piece where it's what's the language that we're using. And instead of like square, triangle, or circle, I think more content that would be trending would be what's your face shape, right?
Mm.
So
Mm.
you have what the seven shapes of a face, whether
Hmm.
that's what is it like diamond, inverted triangle, like oval, like round, oblong, like um, heart. Like there's different, right? There's different face shapes. And
Yes.
then depending on that, right, is hey, the goal is for us to try to create like an oval shape. Like that's what they say.
Yeah.
So you could have that conversation with your client
Hmm.
because they're looking at the damn mirror. So it's easy. Like, hey, like let's look at your and I actually
Right.
think that's why 12 Pels content it really relates because they're like,
Mm.
let's look, hey, this is your face shape. Hey, when you see this, this is the shape I'm going to try to create for you. Like that
Hmm.
content feels more for the consumer because you're
Hmm.
educating them about themselves. You're helping them learn something about themselves. Let's be like, we're
Yeah.
all selfish people to a degree. We want people to teach
Yes.
us things about ourselves. And
Yes.
so that's where I think is the content helping to teach the clients about themselves
Mm.
um, versus, oh, you're trying to teach the barber how to cut hair. That's
Hmm.
not teaching the client about themselves. If we want to teach the client about themselves and try to achieve a certain hairstyle, then
Yeah.
yes, at some point we need to talk to the barber and teach them how to execute on that.
Yeah.
But right, you just think about from a content perspective, it's a different angle. Like here are the top five most trending hairstyles for this head shape. Like
Hmm.
you could do that from a consumer side. But that
Hmm.
same article on the other side might be, all right, these are the five most trending topics, and this is what this
Yes.
looks like. Part two, hey barber, this is your version. This is how you would actually go execute on that, right?
Mm, yeah.
Clients don't need to know how to execute on that from a cutting perspective, but they
Right.
do want to know how to maybe achieve it from like a styling perspective. Um, so like a phrase that my educator or my instructor always told me in school that's always stuck with me, shout out to Andre, aka Dre, was the foundation for any great hairstyle is a great haircut.
Hmm.
Right? It shouldn't if it should be easier to style. If you're having a really difficult time styling your hair and need a ton of product or things like that, it might be because the foundation of the haircut is not great.
Right.
Um, and you could throw in a bunch of pomade to like, or depending on what style you're trying to go, like you could almost cake it in to like hide a bad
Yeah.
haircut.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like the best haircuts can be styled, I think, somewhat easily, um, because they're going with your natural growth pattern and hair textures of the hair, and you've thought about all of those different things when you're cutting it. You know, when you're cutting to make you're thinking about the end styling game.
Yeah.
Um, but clients aren't; they don't control the cutting,
No.
right? We can train them on styling, but they are here for us to cut to
Yes.
a degree.
Yes.
So they're at the mercy of their barber's ability to execute a cut.
Hmm.
And then they need to teach them how to style as
Hmm.
well. But um, yeah, I think that's where it's important when we think content. Uh, it's like we can give them the clients will get that this end vision, this end picture of this is what I want it to look like. This is and it's like okay, well that's a styled. You know, let's be honest, this was styled. This is how they achieve this, and then it's like
Yeah.
okay, and before that they have to cut it in this way. That
Yeah.
could fall apart in a lot of different ways. It could fall apart if the cut isn't there
Right.
or if they don't know how to style or have the tools to style or have the products to style, right? There's
Right.
different ways that that can fall apart. And the clients look at it and they're like, oh, why didn't I get what I wanted? And it's like, well, there's a lot actually going in there as to how we didn't get there.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. Um, who's who's some of your favorite people that you enjoy watching right now on social? There's so many different barbers and lanes right now. Like, who do you personally enjoy?
It's a good question. Um, let's see. I'm in Vegas right now, and I'm pretty sure Ali Boots is
Yeah.
actually based in Vegas. I do
Yep.
really appreciate Ali's lane. I think in a sense
She's
of
dope.
someone who's like breaking the mold or finding showing us really what it looks like to have your own voice
Hmm.
and be bold in that way, do things
Hmm.
different. Really love what she's done. Um, I mean, yeah, there's Paradox, just everything they're doing, and I am connected with them, like Jordan and Don and JR. Then there's Zach up there, and
Are you close
like
to there? Do you live out there?
I live a few hours from the Bay, yeah, and I have
Okay.
family from the Bay, so I'm up there visiting them. But yeah, a few hours from them. Yeah, I really love what Paradox is doing from
Hmm.
a, I don't know. Yeah, again, I kind of went on a tangent already with the Bay and what they've done for the culture, and maybe it's because I'm
Yeah.
from there and it kind of hits my heartstrings, so to speak. But love what they're doing. Um, Another guy that I've always loved and appreciated is Josh Velasquez. He's in
Hmm.
Chicago. He owns a shop
Hmm.
called Prohibition Barber Co.
Okay.
And he's, I feel like, has found a balance of modern, traditional, of really preserving um, like the history of the trade.
Yeah.
Uh, really like Josh. Also, man, he's just got like great style, very humble leader as
Y-
well. Love the way that he
Yeah.
talks about like leading his team. Yeah, Josh would be somebody else. Gosh. Um, who else off the top? Oh, what am I saying? My guys is Slicker. Like Ben and
Flicker's dope.
Tyler with Slicker, just in terms of yeah, I got a chance to spend some good time with them and visited their I haven't been to their new studio, but I did get a chance
Hmm.
to visit them in Philly last May.
Hmm.
And yeah, man, talk about I look at what Statement has done for the culture. I look at Statement and Slicker actually very I think they're like songs that are they like rhyme. Like they're
Mm.
I just yeah, I love what Slicker's doing. I mean, I wear their stuff all the time. I mean, I'm an affiliate
Yeah.
with them. Like, sure, I could give you a code to get a discount, but um
Link in bio.
yeah, link in bio. Yeah, go pick up. I mean, honestly, I love their stuff. Like, I think I wear their utility pants literally right now. Like, I wear them all the
Yes.
time, in and out of the shop. Like, their
Yes.
shirt, like, utility jacket, it's great. Like,
Yeah.
from just a product standpoint, like, I rock with them because one, it's just product is amazing. It's the best. And then
Hmm.
like, who they are as people behind, um, like Ben and Tyler, like, Tyler's especially like his creative eye and product design or things that he thinks missing in the industry. I've always respected his opinion and always want to hear his take and perspective.
Yeah.
Um, but being at CT with them, so I went with them to CT. It was my first time in CT last year, and I was at the
Hmm.
booth with them.
Hmm.
And the amount of people that came up that just rocked with them, that were like, they felt it was like a community.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're like a beloved brand, I think.
Yes.
Like people love Slicker.
Yes.
And you have lots of people across the industry too, a lot of like leaders, like they rock Slicker, they love Slicker.
Hmm.
I feel like they don't even toot their horn enough sometimes
Yeah.
of their influence. But in terms of even pushing the culture forward, what they've done from a fashion and function in the shop,
Hmm.
you know, I mean, I think they've carved out something and they've been doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, always paying attention to what they're doing. Um, yeah, representing Philly out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Slicker's dope, man. I reached out to them recently. I'm hoping to talk to them as well. But I was telling them when I visited them at their first CT, and I was just I thought the vest was so cool when they presented it, and to
Yeah,
see where they are now, and like literally there's like three other barbers in my suite that are rocking their products, and it's just like wow to see how far it's come and to see their development. And I feel like they've kept the integrity of their brand, which I really
totally,
respect. Yeah.
completely, man. Yeah, they've held their own. Like
Hmm.
they are them through and through and haven't been tainted at all by what, an industry that can be, I think sometimes. Um, and yeah, no, love them, man. They're great.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but
It's all good, man. I studied communications in college, so I could talk.
no, it's all good. What do you call it? Oh yeah, dude. On your page you talk about how when you travel to different countries, you made it a point to experience different barber services. What
Yeah.
did you learn in that experience?
Oh man, yeah. Shout out to Miguel, the Nomad Barber,
Yeah.
um, one of the co-creators of Statement. Yeah, so
Hmm.
I started watching Nomad's videos back in like 2012, 13, 14, I think. It's like around then, I think is when he launched his channel. And when I
Yeah.
graduated from college, which yeah, I went to college, got my degree,
Mm.
communications, Cal Poly, my bachelor's degree.
Mm.
Um, and then I lived in Europe for 2 years when I was working for a nonprofit. And around that time, I was, watching all of Nomad's videos basically. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, man, I'm out here traveling. Like, um, I went to like 30 countries in the course of a couple years,
Hmm.
when I was 22, 23. And yeah, I was like, all right, if I'm in a country, I want to be like Nomad. So I'm gonna try to experience, different services. And so my first like straight razor shave um, it was in Macedonia, like from a
Whoa.
Turkish barber, like this
Whoa.
old Turkish barber who didn't even speak any English. Like that was my first straight razor shave.
Okay.
Um, or like the first time I ever got a facial was by accident when I was in Dubai. Like I was at
Accident.
the shop and I was asking for just like a beard trim and like like lineup, and then got lost in translation, man. The dude gave me a whole 30-minute like facial, brought out the face steamer, like I didn't even know what he was
We got a full
putting on my
service.
face because this is before I was a licensed barber. I wasn't a
Yeah.
licensed barber then. So
Mm.
I didn't know like the steps or like, oh, this is a cleanser, or this is a toner, or this is a, some type of serum or moisturizer. Like I didn't even know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Um, like what is this steamer coming in? Like I thought I was at the dentist or something, I was like, where am I? Um, and then yeah, this is another one. When I was in Prague, I again kind of barber didn't speak great English, and the at the end of the service he brought out like this, it was like this long like Q-tip, and then he lit the end on fire,
Yeah.
and then he's tapping my ear. I'm like, what the heck is this? But he was like singeing ear hairs, and I'm like, oh my God. Um, then I got the first time I had threaded my eyebrows.
Yeah.
I think that was in Dubai at a different barber that I went to, which that was
Mm.
wild. Um, anyways, it's just like I don't know. I think traveling and getting a chance to experience different services is one, it almost, and Nomad's done a good job of painting the picture of like barbering around the world. But just
Yeah.
reminded me of there's so many different services that can be offered in the chair, like
Yeah.
we just talking about hair cutting, but yeah,
Hmm.
facials or shaves or threading,
Hmm.
singeing, like there's lots of
Hmm.
different services and there's lots of different styles depending on where you are in the world. Like men's
Yeah.
grooming can look different of where you are in the world. And so it's always inspiring to like learn and connect with the local culture. Like I do think one of the best ways to experience the local culture, you know, is to go to a barbershop. Like
Yeah.
that's a amazing way to do it. You talk about eating food, but it's like going and sitting and uh, barbershops again in the history have always been kind of that cornerstone of communities. And that's the same, like barbershops like that around the world, to
Yeah.
go and experience that. So I've definitely always been inspired and hold all those experiences like close to my heart, and that inspired me along the way to even want to get my license and really and do that. Um, yeah, it's unique, man. It's cool to know you could travel anywhere in the world. There's gonna be a barbershop somewhere, and you could go visit, get a service, and probably leave feeling more connected or inspired. Um, yeah, man, love it. Yeah, there's lots of good stories in there.
Yeah. Was there anything in particular from that journey that you took and you applied it to what you do now?
Oh man, um, I do think. I don't know. I mean, yes, it's like one, I think I'd say actually just all my travels.
Yeah.
There's and I I know I want to do a better like I've actually thought about maybe calling a service something specific related to my travels. I think I could do a better job of marketing it because I don't talk
Mm.
about it enough.
Okay.
Um, and putting it on the menu and seeing if what people like it. Like I think
Yeah. You
Nomad
call
will
it like
do
a
that.
Turkish or Dubai
Yeah, like oh,
service
a
or something.
Turkish
Yeah.
massage or like a Indian head massage. Like I,
Yeah.
I want to say Nomad does things like that where
Yeah.
he's
Mm.
marketed all of his traveling. People know him. So it's like,
Hmm.
well, I want you to bring that service that you got in India. I'd love for you to bring it back to the
Yeah.
shop. Can you do that? And
Hmm.
so I think there's opportunity for that, but also the way that I wasn't necessarily traveling there to do I wasn't doing like a training, right?
Hmm.
Where there's actually one, so I just saw that's been in my feed more. I just started following her. I can't remember her Instagram handle right now, but she's all about like the straight razor shave.
Yes.
And she just went to Italy and did a whole training with like
Wow.
this barbershop that's known for like doing a straight razor shave in a
Mm.
certain way that's
Hmm.
been like passed on from like generations and generations within a certain barber family. And she went experienced that training
Yeah.
and like was uh like did demos or was shadowed by the master trainer,
Hmm.
and now coming back assuming like she probably introduced that as like, well, this is like the Italian straight razor
Yeah.
shave or something like that.
Yeah.
and I'll market it in that way. So I think
Yeah.
if I was to do it again, or if I was to go back and do it again, I probably have that angle where I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go get this type of training, and
Hmm.
then how do I bring that back to serve my clients? But then how do I market it so that I actually create space for me to do the thing that I learned?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's probably on the list of like if I was to do it again.
Yeah.
I can't do like Turkish straight razor shave. I'd feel weird marketing it that way because I haven't necessarily been trained in that style that way. And I
Yeah.
certainly wouldn't want to like rip off and just say Turkish, you know, and not it being truly Turkish, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I'm not trying to like appropriate in that way, to say the least.
No, that's good, bro. Yeah, bro. Okay, man. We're coming up to an hour and 10, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
cut it close here. But
you're good.
yeah, is there anything on your mind that you want to talk about or plug before we go?
Um, yeah, I guess to plug, like if people are listening to this one, thanks for making it all the way this far. Yeah, maybe it went
Right.
longer than maybe we expected, but that's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, plugs are just like if you want to follow the things that I do, Barberdoza is
Hmm.
my Instagram handle, barberdoza.com is my
Hmm.
website. I
Hmm.
do write, so I have like if you're interested in like reading more of my writing or kind of
Yeah.
perspective in the industry, you can read my blog there. There's a lot of stuff there. But I do also write a weekly email newsletter
Yeah.
that goes out Monday mornings. I've written 113 or 114 of those. So that's just kind of like the latest trends or things that are on my mind in the industry. So you can subscribe to my newsletter. That's called The Guideline.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe we do like link in bio for all this stuff to make it easy for you to get to.
For sure.
But yeah, those probably be the main ones. I'm really trying to push my newsletter actually because that is like the main way to get like stay connected with me. You know, in the landscape of social media, things get lost in the algorithm and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And so if you're on my email newsletter, like that's the most direct way to stay up to date with some of the things that I'm up to.
Yeah. What's your goal with the newsletter? Is that something that you just enjoy doing, or yeah? What's your vision for that? I enjoy
Yes,
reading them.
thank you. I appreciate it. Um, I wanna, yeah, it's a good question. I mean, right, how it started was I've had a perspective and I wanted to share it
Yeah.
and wanted to write. And if people liked the things that I was saying or were interested to hear my take, then that's a place that you can go. And trying to build that direct audience, I think, was important. And I covered like different trends within the industry. Like I've written about lots of different things in the industry. I think part of it is just like, yeah, I want to. Next is just like making sure people know about it,
Yeah.
because people have told me they're subscribe and like it was cool. Like when I was teaching my class, actually, there was a moment when I was just sharing a little bit more about my story, and I was like, "Yeah, I write a newsletter, and I plugged Sophie because Sophie also Stegel, she
Yes.
has a newsletter that's great. Also,
Hmm.
if you're not subscribed to hers, you definitely want to go subscribe to hers.
Hmm.
Um, just to plug. So, but yeah, when I was sharing Sophie, like shout out, she's like, I read yours too. I love reading yours, and I'm like, oh word.
Let's
Um,
go.
and so my relationship with Barber Evo even started because the founders were subscribed to my newsletter.
Yeah.
They were reading my writing, and that
Hmm.
eventually kind of worked its way into becoming a columnist. Um, and so, yeah, I think honestly, what's next? I just need to do a better job marketing it. I'm just gonna keep
Hmm.
going, keep writing. Um, might I might try to bring in some of that content and like repurpose it for social so people can,
Mm,
if they're not on the newsletter, like they can still engage with my content.
right.
Because yeah, bro, I've written about a lot of stuff. Like
Yeah.
when I look back at it, I'm like I was having a conversation with Carho, and he had said something, and I was like, dude, I was like, I wrote about that, and I like pulled
Yeah.
up my article and I was like, showed it to him. It was like I wrote about it like 2 years ago, you know.
Yeah. What
And
specific
so
topic or what was it?
the topic was related to 12 Pel,
Okay.
and it was just like a joke where it's saying we think that 12 Pel they had basic made certain haircuts go viral
Mm-hmm.
in introducing certain language. So
Mm-hmm.
clients will sit in their chair and they start using like lingo that we know it's from like a 12 pel video, right?
Right.
Like they're like,
Yeah.
I'm looking for like a 80-20 or like a 70-30, you know, or I
Yeah.
need like a two block, with some tapers, with some baby
Have you have
tapers.
you heard have you heard the comma yet? Somebody called it the comma the other day. They sat in my chair.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I don't know. They're like rebranding the names of these haircuts now.
It's so funny because so we were just joking about that. Or like, man, like clients are coming in and they're acting like they know what they're talking about. It's like, where is this coming from? Like clients weren't always like this. They weren't always asking for the 80-20 or the 70-30.
Yeah.
Um, or like the brush back or the wolf cut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so anyways, we were joking about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had written an article for the teas. It was to celebrate Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month or AAPI month. I'd written an article for them and
Mm-hmm.
I had highlighted 12 Pel. Um, and yeah, in it, I basically had said, I was like, 12 Pels arguably like made these, introduce the language that's spread across the country, country just from 80-20, 70-30. And I like showed them,
Yeah.
I was like, I wrote that like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I was to say is I need to do a better job of just making sure people are, even being on podcasts like this, like I've been the one doing a lot of the interviewing,
Yeah.
but do feel like I need to try to maybe make my voice heard even more in different formats. So
Yeah.
want to make sure I'm influencing or not influencing, but just contributing to the culture and pushing it forward and sharing
Yeah.
my unique maybe unique point of view from just the different things I've done.
Yeah. So are you I saw you work with Barber Evo. Is that something you're still currently doing? Like writing with them?
Yeah. So I'm not, yeah, it's like I write a column for them. It's
Mm-hmm.
basically they do six, if no one's heard of Barber Evo,
Mm-hmm.
their magazine that's like a subscription magazine. You could buy individually or you could subscribe annually.
Mm-hmm.
They release one every 2 months, so you get six in a year. And
Okay.
I was a North America columnist for them last year. So if you, had any of the column or editions from last year, you'd see my writing in there. And then
Yeah.
I am a columnist for them again this year. And so I'm not on staff like with Barbarivo, but I'm one of their contributors or columnists. And then we've done things together where I've gone to certain events on their behalf to cover the event
Yeah.
and like write about it or represent them there, do certain interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's still ongoing. So yeah, shout out to Barbara Evo,
Right.
Jen, Mary, like David, Andrew, the whole team there. They're based in Scotland, so they're in the
Oh,
other
okay. I was
side
gonna ask
of
if
the
they were in
pond.
America or not. They're in
No,
Scotland.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, they're based out there in Scotland. But
Interesting.
they're obviously at events all over the U.S.
Yeah.
and North America, but also Europe. Um,
Very
yeah,
cool.
so yeah, it's been great working with them and like partnering with them.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Well, I could keep going too, but we'll probably have to have more conversations. Matt, it was a pleasure, bro. Thanks for sitting with me.
Of course.
Wishing you the best in everything that you get into, and
Yeah.
I love your passion for the industry. I think that's why I really connect with your content. But hope to talk to you soon, bro.
Thanks, Vince. Thanks for having me.